All right, y'all. All right. So y'all already know tonight is the NBA Cup. The Spurs play the Knicks tonight on Amazon Prime. But the one thing I want to talk about with the NBA Cup is that I don't feel like the NBA Cup holds any significance to the NBA. If you really think about it, the NBA Cup is an in-season tournament. And when you talk about competing for things like accolades, I don't think that's one of the accolades that really matter when it comes to someone's legacy. When you talk about the greats like Michael Jordan or Hakeem Olajuwon, you really gonna put today's players over those kind of players because they have an NBA Cup title? I don't think so. Back in the day, they didn't need that kind of stuff. They was competing for a postseason championship in June in the finals. Now, I know the reason why they brought the NBA Cup to the league was only because they wanted to increase competitiveness during the season. You know, load management has taken a toll on the league in the past few years, and players have gotten hurt. But still, it's just another regular season game. You just get a trophy and a little extra money out of it, and that's it. And if you take a look at some of the teams that even won over the years, like in 2023 when it first came, the LA Lakers won. They didn't win a championship that year. They weren't the best team in the league. In 2024, the Bucks won. They wasn't the best team in the league. The Thunder was. 2025, tonight's matchup, Spurs and Knicks. Now, these two teams have a chance to make a deep run in the playoffs, but do we see them winning a championship over some of the teams in their respective conferences? I don't think so. Not for right now. You know what I'm saying? So I think the NBA Cup should not be in the NBA. I think they should just go ahead and compete and just play 82 regular season games, no tournament involved, and compete for one a playoff spot and then a title after that. And it should be that way here on out. But it's the NBA, they add different things. But I want y'all to think about this right quick. Think about the NFL, right? If the NFL brought a certain in-season tournament to their respective league, I don't think it would be good only because the NFL is so authentic and it's more authentic than the NBA at this point. So, an in-season tournament in comparison to the regular playoff format, it holds no significance. And I feel like the NFL is better than the NBA when it comes to that, just how it treats the league. And the NBA is trying to do things to market itself, and sometimes it's backfiring. And the NBA Cup is just one of those things. So, but that's my thoughts on that. Let me know in the comments. Do y'all think the NBA Cup is a good addition to the league or not? But we on to the next topic. So Sharon Moore has been making headlines for the past week or so. If y'all don't know about Sharon Moore, he was fired from Michigan after they found out he had an intimate relationship with a staffer. And he broke into the staffer's apartment, got a butter knife, and threatened to take her life and his own life as well. And also, he was brought into court on charges, and he was arrested, my fault, and brought into court on charges, and he posted a $25,000 bond. Now, the surprising thing about this is that he also texted a model offering sexual favors in exchange for game tickets. So he was doing a lot of things. He was a married man with children doing these things, and it looked really bad, especially when he was the first black coach to get hired at the University of Michigan. Now, walking out of court, his wife is still standing by his side. Allegedly, I mean, I seen the image of them two walking out of court. So, I mean, they were just walking out of court together. We don't know what's going on between those two. We don't know how they're gonna go on about this, especially when it comes to their marriage. But his wife is sticking beside him through all of this stuff, and hey, it's what it looks like. I mean, she's just with him. I mean, nothing we could say, But hopefully, she's doing well after all of this, um because he did ruin a couple things actually just doing this. But we're gonna stay in college football. I want to talk to y'all about TJ Finley. If y'all don't know about TJ Finley is a quarterback currently in college, about to enter his seventh season. Now, in high school, he was ranked one of the best quarterbacks in the nation. He took his talents to LSU, transferred to Auburn, transferred to Texas State, then Western Kentucky, and then Georgia State. Now he's entering the portal to go into his seventh season looking for another college. Now, this is kind of crazy only because I kept track of him throughout his college career. And when you look at him at LSU, he was still developing. So him taking on a starting role in some of them games, it did not look right. So transferring to Auburn, he did his thing. Didn't do much there. But Texas State is where he really popped off. He popped off. He threw for like over 3,000 yards, and it looked like he found his home in Texas State. But then he transferred again, if I believe. He transferred to Western Kentucky, and then also he transferred to Tulane as well. So he was at Tulane. So based off of what I'm looking at right here, LSU in 2020, Auburn in 2021 and 2022, Texas State 23, Western Kentucky 2024, and then 2025 Georgia State. I could have sworn he was at Tulane. I think he got into some trouble at Tulane, and then he transferred to another school. But his best year was in 2023 in the Sun Belt Conference at Texas State. He threw for 3,439 yards, and he threw for 24 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. That is something that lets me know that he found his home. But I think he wanted to go to a better school, so he did go to another conference like Conference USA and went to Western Kentucky. But I'm really curious to see what school he's gonna go to next. Only because, I mean, you done well in one school. Why are you trying to go to other schools? I think it's something. Is it something that's happening within the program? Is it something with his character? I don't know, but we're gonna have to find that out. But we're gonna see in the next few weeks where he's gonna be going. Wherever he goes, I mean, I wish him the best. But the last thing I want to talk about is something that happened on Sunday. You know already, the Chiefs faced the Chargers, and the Chiefs lost the game, eliminating them from playoff contention. And also, Patrick Mahomes tore his ACL in that game towards the end of the game, towards the end of regulation. So, update, he underwent surgery, and we already know, obviously, he's out for the season. And then my question is, can he make a comeback? I think so. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is one of those rare talents at quarterback that, he's gonna have a slight setback, but then also his comeback's going to be even stronger. And we've seen that time and time again. When he loses the Super Bowl with the Bucks, he came back, and then he beat the San Francisco 49ers. So, and then he beat the Philadelphia Eagles as well. So then also he lost to the Eagles this past year. It's just a sort of a year where he's just having a setback. He don't got great receivers. His offensive line is injured, and the offensive line he currently has is not that great. And the defense is still figuring things out. So, with that being said, Mahomes take this year off. He gonna be good. I feel like he might come back and then just rip up the entire AFC and find himself in the Super Bowl again. Because honestly, when you really think about it, who in the AFC will stop Mahomes? Joe Burrow still figuring things out. Lamar, he got some stuff going on with injuries to himself and other players on the team. And then also you got an old Aaron Rodgers who, don't got much years left, and he might look at a wild card. But the only person is Josh Allen. And Josh Allen still has yet to even do anything to the Chiefs in the playoffs anyway. So we're going to see. But anyway, y'all, that'll be the end of this podcast. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. Thank you all for watching. You all have a great rest of your day, and I'm out. Peace.